Ladies and gentlemen, it is somewhat finally here. NFL football, even though it's preseason, for the New England Patriots starts tomorrow against the Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young. What do you need to know? What do you need to be looking for? As well, we talk Brandon Ayuk and that whole situation, as well as odds on the game tomorrow. Because if you're going to gamble and you're gambling on preseason, you might as well look at them. Who knows? Some of you are itching to gamble on football. Again, none of this is ever financial advice. That being said, my name is Aaron. This is Sports Talk Patriots on the daily New England Patriots content right here. Insight, rumors, whatever it might be, we're going to talk about it. So that being said, we are going to jump in. Not a lot of split screen that I'm going to be showing. We're just going to go over what you need to be looking for, players you need to be looking for when it comes to this preseason game tomorrow against the mighty. I need to stop saying mighty. I thought it would be funny. It's really not that funny. But the Carolina Panthers. Now, a lot of people could argue that this could be the toilet bowl. I disagree. I think the Patriots, personally, yes, I'm biased, are going to be better than a lot of people think. I think there's going to be much worse teams, including the Panthers, including the Broncos, including the Raiders. There's going to be teams that are going to be dog water. And the Patriots, some optimism. A lot of young talent. We'll see how it starts turning out, especially tomorrow. So what you need to be looking for, we're just going to break down the positions. First, we're looking at quarterback. We already know it's pretty solidified that Jacoby Brissett will be the starter week 1 for the New England Patriots. We know that Drake May will be number 2, but what is huge and what's came out from Gerard Mayo is Drake May will be playing in the game tomorrow against the Panthers. That's going to be huge. Originally, he wasn't sure if he was going to play. Personally, I thought you were going to see a lot more of Joe Milton as well as Bailey Zappi, but you are going to be seeing Jacoby Brissett. You're going to be seeing Drake May. You're probably going to be seeing them all. Maybe not even. You might not even see Zappi. He's not been getting a ton of reps in training camp compared to all the others, but who knows? Everyone will probably get a series. Joe Milton and Bailey Zappi might get more. Drake May might get the most. Who knows what Gerard Mayo is going to do? So quarterback, pretty solidified, but I would be just looking for what I would be looking at. Obviously, Drake May, the future of the program, the organization, and so that would be the biggest thing. Second, running back position. Now, in a video prior, we talked about Kevin Harris. Now, apparently Kevin Harris in training camp the past handful of days has kind of taken a decline, has not been doing as great. Now, you could argue that is from the offensive line not playing great. It's been inconsistent. There have been some Okorafor, which we're going to talk about in a minute, has been out, hasn't been playing. So the question is this even the line that's going to be starting? Who knows? It's been up in the air. And so Harris not been doing great, but stock is going up for Terell Jennings. If you don't know who Terell Jennings is, he's an undrafted free agent from Florida A&M, the Rattlers. If you're asking, Aaron, I know you love college football. Do you watch Florida A&M? I do not. I do not watch the Rattlers, but I have seen them, oddly enough, play before. So they have some crazy orange and green jerseys. But that being said, Terell Jennings apparently has been doing great in training camp. He's been catching him out of the backfield. He's been great after contact, which has been awesome. And he had proven that as well at Florida A&M, even though you could argue the competition was much lower for Florida A&M playing FCS football, not FBS, not major Division I football. But again, at the end of the day, if you can come in and play in the NFL and you can show that in training camp, and especially in this game tomorrow against the Panthers, if you can show that, that would be huge for his stock. So I think between the two, watching Kevin Harris, watching Terell Jennings, it will be interesting to see who's going to solidify that third string spot. We know it's Stevenson. We know it's Antonio Gibson. So besides that, I wouldn't even be surprised if Stevenson played. But next, wide receivers, one of the big position groups we have talked about a ton on this channel. The media's talked a ton about, but I think the two biggest people that you should be watching is Polk and Baker. Hopefully they go out, they ball out. They have been hyped up a ton in training camp. So I think those are the first two people in the wide receiver core that you are going to be watching the most, or you should keep an eye on the most when you're watching this game tomorrow. As well, Butte has kicked out his old gambling ways, and I need to stop making fun of him. But he has apparently been showing some great signs. He's a young player. We know that. This is his second year out of LSU. A lot of potential. We know in the NFL there has been a lot of great wide receivers coming out of LSU. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Javaris Landry, a lot of, and I'm probably forgetting 100, but those are the first handful that just come to the top of my head. So that being said, watch for him. The two question marks that you should watch for is Rager and Juju. Those two are on, I would say, that chopping block, are on the fringe right now. As well, look for Thornton as well. I think that's a huge one too. Another young talent. Hopefully he doesn't get injured this preseason. We did a video. We talked about him as well. But going into his third season, hopefully this can be a season that he can actually make the 53-man roster going into week 1 of the season, because he hasn't done it the past 2 years because he's been hurt. But those two guys, these more veteran guys, obviously look to see how they do as well. Because again, are the Patriots going to keep 6 to 7 wide receivers? That's a big question going into these preseason games and going into week 1 of the 2024 NFL season. Now we jump down to tight ends. We know that we have Hunter Henry, and we have Austin Hooper. Those are going to be the 1-2. The question is number 3. Is it going to be Wilcox? It's going to be Bell. Bell was out of training camp for just a little bit. He's jumped back in, and apparently he has marveled. He's been great. Coaches have been raving about him. One of the best videos I've ever done was on him. He is a stud, and I think he could be a gem coming out of the 7th round, which was crazy. Again, if you don't know a lot about Jaheim Bell, he came from Florida State, was transferred from South Carolina. Why you tell me all this stuff? Because I know it off the top of my head, and I think it's important information. Anyways, you look at his time at Florida State, he was outshined by 2 other actual receivers. One of those receivers, Keon Coleman, who got drafted in the 2nd round by the Bills, is supposed to be a stud up there. And as well, Jordan Travis, who is his quarterback, got hurt, and they went all the way down to their 3rd-string quarterback. So his stats weren't as wild when it came to playing at Florida State. I think he is a diamond in the rough. I think he has a ton of potential. He's very versatile. He is someone, of all these people, he's one of the people I'm most excited to see, especially in this Van Pelt offense. We're going to see how he utilizes these tight ends. And so it will be fun to see. But the tight end battle, Wilcox-Bell. Jumping down to the offensive line, as we've talked about, one of the biggest, the hugest question marks when it comes to New England Patriots. Last year, gosh, I may have done better playing offensive line, 6'4", 215 right here. Probably not. I'd probably get broken in half like Batman Bane, that whole situation. But I digress. The offensive line, the biggest question mark is Okorafor. Okorafor has been hurt, has not really been at training camp at all. And so look for Lowe and Anderson, that battle at tackle. And Wenu has been taking a ton of reps at guard. So the question is he going to be going back to guard? And then I think one of the younger talents we need to be looking at is Caden Wallace. Is Caden Wallace, he came back on Tuesday to training camp. Is he going to be dressed for the game, playing in the game? Possibility. Again, it's preseason. Doesn't matter. No, doesn't matter. But yes, he could get some reps. So it's going to be interesting to see. Could we see the other draftee from the Patriots this year in Layden Robinson? I think that's a huge possibility. So looking at the line as a whole, if you're, again, I love football. I love watching the line. You see a big run play, I'm looking for the blocks that help lead the way for that run. That is how I watch football. So we got to be watching the offensive line, be looking at these different battles and seeing if Wallace is in there and if they're switching things up and how that looks. So that is offense in a nutshell, what you should be looking for. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Excited to see it. Now, defense, I didn't write as much up just because I think defense, we have a lot of answers already figured out. So the biggest one is cornerback depth. Watch for Marcellus Dial, the draftee that we got from South Carolina for the Patriots. Him, Alex Austin, and Isaiah Bolden. So just a bunch of younger guys, seeing how they play, how they perform. We know that Isaiah Bolden is a stud, has a lot of talent. And so Hopefully he can go out there, obviously, after a big injury last year he had during the preseason against the Packers. Can he go out there and ball out? I'm excited to see as well. I'm adding this into defense and especially since we're talking about Bolden, is how the kick return is going to look, who's going to be doing that. I hope to see him back there. And honestly, I hope to see a return. I don't know what the odds are for a return in this game. I don't even know if they do that, but it'd be interesting to see, because the odds will be up this year, apparently, just because there's going to be a lot more returns. And it seems like I've heard a lot of players say it's almost like it's just one massive run play, which is an interesting way of looking at it. And if you watch the Bears-Texans game or watched any of the UFL, that is exactly what it looks like. So it'll be interesting to see that. So keep those guys on your radar when you're watching defense as well. Just the D-line depth, who's going to be stepping up for Barmore and what that's going to look like. And one edge rusher that I'm really excited for, I've talked about him a bunch, is Keon White. Young talent, fast, big, not afraid of contact. Let's see him ball out. So that is kind of just looking at a breakdown of offense, a little bit of defense. Now we're just going to jump into Brandon Ayuk. So the whole situation with Brandon Ayuk, apparently to keep you to get you back in the loop, Brandon Ayuk wants to be traded, wants more money. 49ers said, hey, yep, we give you permission to start talking to people. He was talking to 3 teams that we know of: the New England Patriots, the Cleveland Browns, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, today we found out, I believe it was actually late last night, but we found out that he was no longer interested in New England Patriots. Apparently, the Patriots made a very, very substantial offer. The trade, this was the weird situation with it all, was Brandon Ayuk he had to agree with it, as well as the trade had to be agreed upon with the 49ers. So 2 things had to happen. Apparently, the trade, whatever that may be, was agreed upon by the 49ers, but Brandon Ayuk did not want to go there. So it makes you think, okay, he probably would get paid a lot more money. Apparently, Elliott Wolf and the front office was willing to pay him a ton, but he didn't want to go to a young team like the Patriots. I think the Browns are still in play for him. I have not seen. Things may change when I post this video, but that goes to show, I saw a lot of people commenting, it's just about money from him. It's just about money for him. It's just about money. Well, clearly it's not. If it's not all about money, clearly he wants to win a Super Bowl. And so it'll be interesting with that. I don't think Cleveland is a better opportunity for him than the 49ers. I think the 49ers have something great going there. You look at the team, just a bunch of studs, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So it'll be interesting to see what he ends up doing. But Brandon Ayuk, it was fun with all the drama. It was fun talking about you, but we are finally done. Last but not least, we are talking betting odds when it comes to this game. And so as of right now, Vegas DraftKings has the New England Patriots as a +7 spread, -7, meaning they are giving the Panthers. I cannot talk. We're almost done. I promise. Golly, hang in there, Aaron. Are giving the Carolina Panthers a touchdown, essentially. The over/under, not crazy, 33.5. And then the money line is -305. If you don't know what that means, for the Patriots, if you bet on the Patriots to win money line, to win $100, you have to bet $305. If you're the Carolina Panthers, if you bet $100, which you better not, I mean, it's preseason. Who in the world knows? It's wild that they're making these odds. But if you bet $100, you'll win $245, obviously, plus the $100 back. So $345. So interesting stuff when it comes to odds. It's wild. Once again, they make it during preseason. These algorithms are insane. But this is what I want you to do. I haven't asked you this whole video to comment. Comment below, who are you most excited for to watch in the preseason? I'll probably throw up a poll on the page as well. But who are you most excited to watch this preseason, and why? Who? Why? Who? Why? Basic questions. I appreciate you guys. We will see you tomorrow. Go Pats. Peace.